and welcome to part 2 of Leslie's Angel Spirit. And this show is going to be, well, the first show was about what I went through. This show is going to be about how I overcame each issue and got through it. But before I do that, I want to introduce myself. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Leslie Ann Cherry. I'm an influencer, entrepreneur, and life difference leader for Team Down Global Network, and recently appointed as a brand ambassador for this amazing platform, Ordinary People TV. But as I said, before I go into my show, I have something I'd like to read to you all because of everything that we're all going through at the moment. And I think it's a really good message, and we need to take it on board. I'd like to take credit for it, but I didn't write it. But it's by Laura Kelly Finninger. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it goes like this. When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversations with neighbours, a crowded theatre, Friday night out, the taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, we hoped to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. I think that's a great message, and we all need to take it on board. Okay, so now to get into my show. Having told in part 1 that at 14 I was raped, how did I get through that? Well, I don't think you ever really get over it completely, but I took a lot of mindset, self-development and healing. And I finally realised after a few years, and it took years, yeah, because it was devastating, but I finally realised that actually this wasn't my fault. I was a minor. He was 33, a grown man. He knew exactly what he was doing. And I can't blame myself. And that helped me through it. I also decided that from now on, if I have sex with anyone, it's my choice, my decision, and it's got to be done in love. This made me demisexual. For those that don't know what demisexual is, it's somebody that has to be emotionally involved before they can have sex with anybody. So that's how I got through that. And the bullying, well, I just decided I'd had enough and stood up for myself. And I went for the loudest one. There were 6 of them on me at college. And the loudest one I went for, and the other 5 backed off. And then I realised if I stand up for myself, actually they're not so hard. They're cowards. And the other 5 were only backing her because they were frightened of her. So that's how I got through that. And then I help by bringing my children up to stand up for themselves and hoping they don't go through it, which at the moment they haven't. I'm pleased with that. And then the next abuse I came across was domestic violence. Now, people that haven't gone through it, you can usually tell because they say, well, you're staying there, you're putting up with it. But it's not as simple as that. When you've got somebody that's telling you, if you ever leave me, I'll kill you, and they know where your parents live, where your family lives, where your friends live, where you hang out with your friends. They know everything about you. They've been going out with you for a year. And they stalk you 3 years after you get away, finally get away. And you try and get away. And they grab your hair and pull you back, throw you to the floor, and beat you worse than they would have done if you not tried to get away. It's fear that holds us there. And you'll only understand that if you've been through it. And no woman should have to be beaten by a man. How did I get over that? Well, for 3 months I stayed away from my parents because I had so much bruising around my face. I had a perforated eardrum. I had a jaw that clicked every time I opened it to a certain here, it would click, which has now since been rectified with healing. I got out of it and I was looking over my shoulder constantly because, like I said, he stalked me for 3 years. He wasn't giving up, but I chose to forgive him, not because what he did was right, but for my own healing, so that I could move forward. And having learned that for 27 years, him and his siblings had seen his mum stand by his father, who beat her regularly. And he was of a mind that if somebody loves you enough, they will stay no matter how you treat them. And to keep them in line, that's what you do. He didn't know any better. And I know that doesn't make it right. But that's how I managed to forgive him and move on. The next one that I went through was depression during marriage. And to feel alone with a husband and 3 children, it is the loneliest thing. How can you be alone when you've got a husband and 3 kids around you all the time? Well, because for the last 8 years of the marriage, there was no love. He gave me money. I could get whatever I wanted. I wanted for nothing. But the love, the attention, the intimacy, the actually being there for me. Not just money-wise, but in a loving, romantic and supportive partner way. With the depression, a good friend of mine helped me out. I was a mum. My eldest was 4 at the time. My daughter was 2 at the time, and I'd got a week-old baby. And they all wanted my attention at once. My husband worked, and when he came in, all the dealings he had with the children was mealtime. Then, okay, it's time for bed. I did the bedtime routine, and that was it. So I felt like a single parent. I felt like I was alone bringing up 3 children that all demanded my attention at once. And a friend of mine came in and she helped me with that. She'd take the older 2 and play with them and read to them while I had time to do what I needed to do with the youngest. And she did that for 2 weeks solid every day. And God bless her for that, because that really helped me. And then I managed to get into a routine where I would take the 2 eldest ones to school and nursery. My daughter was picked up from nursery before my son from school. So that was her time. While they were in school was my youngest time. And then the eldest came back. So my daughter was happy because she'd had my attention. My youngest was happy because they had my attention. And the elder one, when they came back with homework, yes, homework at 4, I used to help out with that. Then he'd go on the game, Kaylee would get more attention, and then obviously bedtime for those, and the youngest one again. So once I got myself organised and into a routine, the pressure was off. They were all getting individual attention and happy, and I didn't have that onslaught. So that helped me get over the depression. But I wouldn't want to go through it again or wish it on anybody. And then the final one I went through was homelessness after a messy divorce when we finally split up. And he decided he wanted his girlfriend staying over at the weekend and obviously didn't want his ex-wife sleeping on the sofa there. So it went from amicable to locks changed, no longer doing the school run. He had a friend of mine doing that, and everything just changed. He took everything off me bit by bit, including the child allowance, which was my only income. And so I was left with nothing and homeless. What did I do? Well, I went to Citizens Advice Bureau and I asked them, can you find me a home? I'm homeless. I explained the situation. They said you need to pay something towards the rent. Do you have any form of income support? No. So they advised me to go and get that. I went along and tried to get income support. They asked a fixed abode. Obviously, I didn't have one. I'm homeless. So they said, well, we can't give you income support without a fixed abode. So when you're homeless, nobody will employ you because you're uninsurable. So if anything happens in the workplace, you're not covered and neither are they. So they won't give you a job. I couldn't get income support and I couldn't find somewhere to rent because I had to pay towards the rent. So I went back to Citizens Advice Bureau and asked them, what can you do for me? What did they say? We can give you food vouchers, but you're only allowed 3. So I took those, grateful for any help whatsoever. I went along and gave them my voucher and got my bags of food. Tin stuff, no bread, no milk, juice, maybe chocolate. The tin stuff was no good to me. I hadn't got a tin opener. I had got nothing to cook on. So basically, the 3 food vouchers, it was just the bits of biscuits, chocolate, maybe juice that I could have. The rest was useless to me. I then ended up, the community found out what was going on, what had happened, and they stepped up to help me. There was a girl, she's amazing, and she used to cook an extra Sunday dinner to give to me, and that was every Sunday. And she'd take my washing, do that, bring it back for me. Then she started doing an extra couple of bags of shopping and bringing it to me to help me survive. And then my good friend, a pensioner on his own, lonely, said to me, why are you sleeping in the back of your car? I said, because I've got nowhere else to go. He said, you have now. My door's open until 11 o'clock at night. Just come round if you want to watch TV, have a shower, just a bit of company. I'd be glad of the company. You're very welcome. I said thank you, but I didn't go round. Well, the next day he came to the car, knocked on the window. Why didn't you come round last night? I said I didn't like to. He said, why? I said I felt like I was imposing and he was just being kind. And he said, no, I meant it. He said, so come on, we're going round now, I'll walk you round with me. This continued and began a great friendship. And I used to stay there, go round at 9 in the morning. I'd stay there, we'd chat, we'd laugh, we'd watch TV, have coffee. He started taking me, bless him, paying for a bus fare to take me to Reddish and take me to Johnny's Cafe and get me something to eat once a week. And this is a pensioner. God bless him. If it wasn't for him and the other lady, I wouldn't be here now. And then one day he came back and he said, I've just been for my haircut. I said, it looks nice. And he went, I want you to come and meet the girl that does it. I went, why? He said, she wants to talk to you. I've been telling you about her. All right, so I went round and it turned out that this girl had just got on her feet again after being homeless herself, again from a relationship leaving her in that situation, and she wanted to help me, but she wanted to hear my story first. So that was the first time of me telling my story. She ended up giving me the key to the shop and saying, I want you to sleep on the sofa here. You're no more sleeping in the car. So that's what I did. And then I met Sean, and Sean said, I want to go out, let's meet. We've been talking online for a while. And I said, but we've not even had a date yet, and you're asking me to move in. He said, because it's not safe there. I said, I've been doing this for months, I'm fine. Either you come home to mine, or I'm staying in the shop. No, I'm not coming to yours, fine, I'm staying in the shop. And he just like got on the sofa, and I'm thinking, he's took my bed. Anyway, he stayed that night, and it was a Friday night. And then he said, I want you to come back and meet the children for the weekend. See how it goes, see how you feel. So I agreed, and we went. And he's told his daughter how I was living. She said, you shouldn't be living like that. She talked me into moving in. She said, stay here, my dad will treat you like a princess. So I ended up moving in there, being introduced to his friends. I then got a fixed abode, and I managed to get a job with Sean's help because he knew the landlady at his local pub, and she gave me a job, which I was there for 4.5 years. I just wish that I could do more to help people, and especially with what's happening now, because yes, the elderly, we need to be concerned. People with immune deficiency, we need to be concerned. And young children that haven't got an immune system built up strong enough yet. But has anybody thought about the homeless who are struggling to survive as it is? We need to all find compassion and find something good in this and help each other through this, because we're all in it together. And to end on that message, just one more time, I'd like to read it. When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the store, conversations with neighbours, a crowded theatre, Friday night out, the taste of communion, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, we hoped to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. Thank you. And I just want to say, please all stay well, stay healthy, stay safe, don't panic. We're all in this together. Let's find some compassion. And bye for now.
Hi, I'm Jen. Let me lead you into Best in Show Bitch as I follow professional handlers, owner handlers, groomers, trainers, breeders, and other influencers in canine sports. All while I share with you a little bit of my dog-loving antics. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna If you are new to the sport, here you will meet and get to know different dog breeds. You will learn a lot of dog show lingo, as well as tips from the people that are masters in the sport. And in this crazy world where we show and exhibit our companions we call dogs, I like to share a little humor, one episode at a time, in and out of the show ring. We have new episodes premiering every Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Ordinary People TV. So sit back and enjoy the ride.
Hey guys, I'm Sharita.
And I'm Chris.
And we want to invite you guys to join us on Thursdays for a Battle Ready Marriage show. It starts at 8:30 Eastern Time and 7:30 Central. Chris, tell us what it's about.
So on the Battle Ready Marriage, we talk about different things. Mainly these three things. So we want to transform relationships, take it to the next level. We want to battle ready marriages. And if you're just starting and you want to go into a relationship, we teach you how to prepare for that relationship and make it one for the ages. Again, my name is Coach Chris.
And I'm Sharita. And we want you to go out and dominate your space.
That matter. If you want to hear more of these stories, go over to ordinarypeople.tv/join today.